I just want to remind everybody that the sound system still isn't working, so please speak loudly enough that we can catch you on video. Back corner. Thank you.
And with that being said, Eric and I met with Tim from ACCS, and I can't remember the guy's name, from who installed this whole system. And they're working on getting this back in order and making some changes to it. But the guy from Kokomo is ordering the parts first, but then after that, we're going to work with ACCS on trying to improve it. So when somebody's not here or whatever, it should be a little bit easier. So. Well, now I don't know about that. He didn't give us. Did he give us a timeline?
I'll be quick.
Yeah, whatever quick is. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open the meeting. Let's rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call please. Carol.
Steve Beardsley,
Present.
Mike Bright,
Present.
Grant Fuller,
Present.
Joe Palmer,
Present.
Megan Sheets,
Present.
Clarence Worthen,
Present.
Eric Woods.
Present.
Okay, we have the minutes from September 26, 2022 regular meetings. Are there any questions or concerns on it? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we pass or accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Okay, roll call please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Bright,
Aye.
Grant Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, do we have any public comments? We don't. Okay, I'm going to change up the agenda a little bit tonight. We have David Nye here, and he is going to talk to us about ordinance number 22-23, which has to do with the revenue bonds of Westwood Manor. So, you want to go ahead and talk to us about that?
Sure, thank you, Mayor. Good evening. I'm David Nye with Ice Miller. I'm bond counsel of Westwood Manor, which is y'all know is a 501c3 senior living community up on the north side of Frankfurt, I believe. They issued a conduit revenue bond in 2012. So the important piece of that is that you all acted as a conduit for the issuance of that bond. The city nor the tax dollars there's no kind of property tax backup to this bond. There's no obligation of this board. However, for a 501c3 under federal tax law to access the tax bond market, they have to go through some kind of governmental unit. So it could be the Indiana Finance Authority, or in this case, your Economic Development Corporation, I think, helps issue it originally. The bond was purchased and is still held to this day by Huntington Bank, or division of Huntington. But it's based on an interest rate that is based on an index that is being retired next year. So the London Interbank offered rate, or LIBOR, is set to retire in 2023. So there's about $5 trillion worth of debt and derivatives that are tied to this index. And so this is one piece of debt instrument where, when this was initially papered, nobody anticipated the LIBOR index would ever go away. So there was no language in the bond documents to put in a new index in the case that LIBOR was ever retired. So globally, everyone's having to amend their debt and derivative instruments to provide for that point in time next year when LIBOR actually is retired. And so before you is an ordinance, since you all, the board is a party, or the city, I should say, is a party to that bond document that we are amending. The ordinance before you is seeking approval to make those amendments. So it's purely just to set in place the mechanics for LIBOR's retirement, and that the index will then fall to the new globally designated index rate, which is called SOFR. It's an acronym for Secured Overnight Funding Rate. So that'll be the new base index starting in 2023. But given that the city is a party to this instrument, we thought it appropriate to at least bring this before you as a board, since we be a signatory, and just request your approval. So happy to answer any questions about the bond itself or the amendment that we're requesting approval for.
Is this something that will require a public meeting?
Good question. It will not. Yeah. So under federal tax law, there are public hearing requirements, but it doesn't apply in this instance because it's maybe more in the weeds than you want, but it's not a reissuance for tax purposes. So the IRS doesn't view this as a tax event. They've basically given us a lot of safe harbors to just do what you need to do to get the instrument amended. So no public.
Okay, but I'm talking in terms of our ordinance being able to pass it. Is it possible we can do this on 3 the same budget?
You can suspend the rules if you do so unanimously.
I see this as a no-brainer. This is just a technicality on our part, and I would move that we suspend the rules so that we can pass on 3 readings at once.
I'll second. We need to read it by title only first and then we'll.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We read the ordinance by title.
I'll read the whole thing.
Somebody go get me some water,
Okay,
please.
so you moved title only. I'll second. You'll second that one, okay. Roll call, please, Carol.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Bright,
Aye.
Brent Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
City of Frankfurt Common Council Ordinance Number 22-23. Ordinance authorizing and approving certain actions and documents in connection with the amendment of the City of Frankfurt, Indiana Economic Development Revenue Multi-Purpose Bonds, Series 2012, Wesley Manor, Inc. project.
Now
you can do that,
we
yeah.
have to suspend the rules and so we can pass one thing 3 readings.
I'll second. Roll call, please, Carol.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Bright,
Aye.
Brent Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, now the motion to pass.
I move that we pass ordinance 22-23 on first, second, and third reading.
Second. I wonder if
Okay, roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Bright,
Aye.
Brent Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 22-23 passes on first, second, and third reading. Thank you for being here tonight.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
No reason for Wesley Manor to pay you comes here.
Exactly. Yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, now, next on the agenda, we have a public hearing for ordinance number 22-16. I'm going to recess the council meeting at 7:08 and open the public hearing. And this is on our 2023 budget. Okay. Any questions, no comments? Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:09 and reopen the council meeting. Next on the agenda, we have ordinance number 22-16.
Mayor, I'll move to pass 22-16 on second reading. Second.
Roll call, please.
Was that Brant?
Yes.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Bright,
Aye.
Brent Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets, Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 22-16 passes on second reading. The next meeting, then we will pass the ordinance on third reading and final approval, and we will send it to the state by November 1st. So, okay, next on the agenda is a public hearing for ordinance number 22-20. I'm going to recess the council meeting at 7:10 and open the public hearing on ordinance number 22-20. And this is for an additional appropriation. Did you want to tell us about that, Carol?
This was for funds requested by Chief Shoemaker for police overtime and fuel. I think he spoke to this in the last meeting.
Does anybody have any questions or comments? I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:11 and reopen the council meeting.
Make a motion, we pass 22-20, second reading.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Mike Bright.
Aye.
Brant Fuller.
Aye.
Joe Palmer.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 22-20 passes on second reading. Next on the agenda, we have ordinance number 22-17. And this is for the 2023 salary ordinance.
Can I speak to this
Yes.
briefly? I had sent out a highlighted copy of this earlier today, but it has changed again since then. So what you have in front of you is the most recent copy. The highlighted sections are what have changed from the first reading. Most of the ones on the first page are all just slight mathematical errors. You can see that clearly. And then there was an increase for the park supervisor due to increased duties.
We discussed that.
We did,
Yes, at the last meeting. Mhm.
but I just want to be sure everybody was able to see what changes were made clearly. And then, Les, I did add revised to that, so.
So you need a motion to amend? Yes.
Or
Yes.
amend it and then
Yes.
pass it, okay.
I will move to amend ordinance 22-17 as designated in our revised copy.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Mike Bright.
Aye.
Brant Fuller.
Aye.
Joe Palmer.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, so ordinance number 22-17 passes as amended on second reading? Or do you have to?
Just to
just to
amend.
read it again?
That was just to amend.
Okay, so do we need to go ahead and do another one? Okay,
I'll make a motion that we pass 22-17 as amended.
I'll second.
roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Mike Bright.
Aye.
Brant Fuller.
Aye.
Joe Palmer.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, now ordinance number 22-17 passes on second reading. So the same thing in the next meeting that we have, that will pass on third reading, and there won't be any amendments. We can only amend on second reading, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So next we have on the agenda ordinance number 22-18, and this is on second reading. It's the 2023 elected official salary ordinance. And there were no changes or anything?
No changes.
Okay.
Move to pass ordinance 22-18 on second reading.
I'll second.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Steve Beardsley.
Aye.
Mike Bright.
Aye.
Brant Fuller.
Aye.
Joe Palmer.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 22-18 passes on second reading. Next, we have ordinance number 22-19. This is on third reading. It's additional appropriation ordinance. And Carol, do you want to talk to us just a little bit about that?
Yes, this is for overtime at the fire department. As Chief Stidham had explained in a previous meeting, they've had different types of absences and illnesses, vacations, all the like that have created the need for overtime funds to get them through the rest of this year.
I'll make a motion, we pass 22-19, third reading.
Randy, did you
Councilman
second that?
Fuller, was that you?
Yeah.
On the second? Roll call.
Yes. roll call,
Steve
please.
Beardsley.
Aye.
Mike Bright.
Aye.
Brant Fuller.
Aye.
Joe Palmer.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen.
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 22-19 passes on third reading. Carol will send that into the DLGF, and then once we get approval back from the state, then Matt, you will have that as an additional appropriation to your budget for this year. Okay, next we have ordinance number 22-21. It's second reading, and it's amending the floodplain ordinance. And Don's here tonight in case anybody has questions.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and pass 2221 on second and third.
Second.
Who did that first? Steve, okay, Steve.
First, and then Steve.
He's first, he's second, okay.
Ready for roll call?
Yes, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Bright,
Aye.
Brent Fuller.
Aye.
Joe Palmer.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
I'll make a motion, we pass 2221 on second and third.
Clarence, this is your
I'll
time.
second.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Bright,
Aye.
Brent Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 22-21 passed on second and third reading. So Don, you have that floodplain ordinance passed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have ordinance number 22-22, and it's the ordinance amending and restating the salaries and hourly wages for the single city of Frankfort, Indiana, and this is on second reading.
I'd like to make a motion that we suspend rules and pass this one on the second and third reading.
I'll say.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Bright,
Aye.
Brent Fuller.
Aye.
Joe Palmer.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Would you like to make the motion?
I'll make the motion that we pass ordinance 22-22 on second and third reading.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Discussion real quick.
Okay,
Now, this does reflect what we had done earlier with the salaries, like towards the park superintendent and
Yes.
stuff like that, right?
for the supervisor.
Yes.
Yes, yes, and that is for
Okay.
2022, just for the
I
remainder.
just wanted to make sure
Yeah, yeah.
that it was in.
Yeah, it is,
Thank you, Jeff.
yes.
Ready for roll call?
Mhm.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Bright,
Aye.
Brent Fuller.
Aye.
Joe Palmer.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 22-22 passes on second and third reading. So next on the agenda, we have the ordinance that we just took care of with the Wesley Manor project. Does anybody have anything on old business? Any new business? You tell us. You want to tell us what you learned today?
Again,
I think that'd be good.
I went to the regional development meeting today for the board of directors. And the Reedy grant has been solidified. And we in Clinton County have received funding for 3 projects that we asked for. We have matching grants for the roundhouse redevelopment cleanup, 200,000. We need to match that to get that, so that'd be a $400,000 project. The Meadowbrook development, 1.5 million, matching fund there, and lastly, the Cradle to Career Center, $1 million for Clinton County. So those are the 3 projects we got funded by the Reedy grant that we worked on all last year.
Yeah, that we put a lot of time and effort into.
We did.
I'm not really sure where the match is gonna come from on, some of those. I know Shan's been working on it.
I know they can come
The
from,
roundhouse.
state or city or private,
Mhm. Yes, yes.
combined,
Mhm.
like for that development project, the contractor or the developer, that he can match part of that as well.
And I know that the council has already put into that ordinance $750,000 for the Meadowbrook subdivision infrastructure. That's one of the things we were gonna do. And then also 125,000 towards the, at the time it was Career Tech, now they changed it to Cradle to Career. So,
Clarence, what committee was this?
Regional economic development.
It's that North Central Regional Group, and we pay them money every year to be a part of that, but they also help us secure grants, so.
The roundhouse falls within the TIP district, so just throwing that out.
So there might be an opportunity for
There's
the
an
RDC.
opportunity Possible.
I want to point out the fact that they changed the name to Cradle, and we as a council voted
You
on it
said-
a certain way, and unless something changes there, that we can't.
We'll have to
Go
come
off of
back and
that.
talk about that. Because we said it was gonna be for career
For career.
track. But when they went back to Ready, they changed it, the Cradle to career tech, so. That doesn't affect the Ready grant, it affects on what the council,
Yeah.
what the council said that we would
How
do.
we fund it.
Right,
Mayor,
yes.
is there any part of that ready grant that's not matching? That you're able to get a hold of, or is
I'm
everything?
thinking that everything,
I think
the
everything's
grant has
matched.
to be matched, either by public or private funds.
Whatever funds they give out, every one of them has to be matched.
Yeah, I believe so. And there is supposed to be some more funding becoming available through the Ready.
They think that some of the regions will not be able to spend the money in the time frame that we have to spend it. So there may be some more leftover money, and we're hoping to be Johnny on the spot and say, we'll take that. Maybe fund some other project that we.
And the same way with us with our ARPA funds. I mean, we only have so long to use them, so we have to make sure that we meet that deadline as well. So, okay, anybody have any other questions on that? Okay, I'm sure as time goes on, we'll learn a little bit more about what they're planning.
That's 2.7 million that we didn't have, that
Exactly.
we now have access to. So,
Good for
Take
Clinton
advantage
County and
of
Frankfurt. Thank you. Jason, did you want to give us an update on State Road 28?
I just wanted to get a hold of everyone and let you know what's been going on State Road 28. The schedule you have in front of you is probably the most understandable schedule I've seen since day one. Basically, as you go down through there, it's broke down into sections of the project, whether it's concrete work, whether it's asphalt work, whether it's work on sod, things of that nature. There was a big meeting there here not too long ago that I was a part of. And at that time is when they brought these schedules out and showed an October 17th end date for the west side of Jackson Street. And obviously, as you've seen in recent days, there's been a lot of asphalt work going on out there. There was a lot of things discussed in that meeting about where we go from here. They're saying December 6th is an end date for the east end. I know they've had a lot more going on down on the east end, a lot more people working down there than they did on the west end, and I think that's going pretty well. I think it's concrete on sidewalks down to, I think, Williams Road now. And they've done some work on the road as well. Utilities, I believe, are done down to there, but they still have that section of Williams down to Hoke and some other things to do, obviously. But I did discuss with them about the December 6th end date as to when they're going to pave it, how they're going to pave it, if it's going to be intermediate asphalt, if it's going to be a surface asphalt, because obviously I'm not an expert on asphalt, but you're being told not to pave under 32 degrees, and I'm guessing December 6th will probably be in that 32-degree area anyway. But I brought that up in the meeting and discussed it with NDOT. Obviously, it's their road, it's not our road, but we want it to be in good shape as long as it can be. And one of the things that EMD said they might do is put down the intermediate. The only thing is they have to stripe. Anything they put down, they have to stripe by law. On state road, they have to stripe it before anybody can drive on it. So this is, like I said, the best schedule I've seen since we started working with them. There is some work around the railroad tracks. I'm sure Eric's seen down there that they got some concrete pedestals that they need to pour down there along the railroad area. Obviously, still a little bit of concrete work I wasn't out there today. A little bit of concrete work on sidewalks and drives down there, as well, but, and then while I was on this, I thought I'd tell you that, I've mentioned this in the past, the ULD, and I'd like maybe some feedback from all of you. It doesn't have to be tonight, but we've been approved to have that ULD done where Clinton Street will be paid from basically McKinley around past the Vintage Cafe down to downtown on Jackson to Jackson Street. I've also placed ULD and some information in the NDOT in reference to Clinton and Hope and some other areas of town that have been damaged due to the construction. I haven't received that one back yet, but we did receive approval for NDOT to come in and do some work on Clinton Street. What I would want from you is when we'd like to do that. Do we want to do that once, obviously probably too late now to get anything done, but we want to do that first in spring, or do we want to wait until the entire project's finished? Just maybe some feedback from you through an email or something like that as to how you would like to handle that. But you know, it's obviously something we want to take advantage of as soon as we can. But there was a lot of discussion in this last meeting, some things I wasn't very happy with, the mayor was aware of. I think we got some things going down there now that I'm not sure would have happened if we wouldn't have had that meeting. So, and if you're willing, you want to talk to me about that, I'd be willing to do that with you as well. Can I fill you in on that? But, hopefully pretty soon we'll see downtown get a little bit of, you know, slow down a little bit down where we can open up Main Street, we can open up Columbia Street, and all the side streets going down out to the west end. I do know they're finished with the asphalt out as far as they're going to go towards 200. That's all done. So yeah, there's been a lot of work going on since, I don't remember the date now, right at the end of September, I believe.
Yes.
It's the third or fourth week of September. But like I said, I'd be willing to sit down with you and talk to you a little bit about what occurred there. But yeah, this schedule, I'm pretty confident. I think they are too. They can meet these dates. Obviously, I don't know that they've had any rain days since we had that meeting. And I know they've been out there hitting it. Today was the first trace rain I think we've had here in town for quite a while. So, anyway, if you have any questions on the schedule, I'd be happy to answer them. But the other schedules we got during some of these meetings were just not easy to read, and this one here is a little more easy to read and try to take a look at and understand. So.
Anything for Jason on there? Jason, you might go ahead and mention about the paving projects in the city. Let him know what's going on with that.
Don't hold me to this because we never know what's going to happen. But October 24th is the deadline or the date that they have us scheduled to start our paving here in town. We'll have 11 projects. We have the 9 original, and then the 2 that we added with Taylor Street and also Bill Doolin Drive going by the Lily Down. Those 11 projects are scheduled on E&B's schedule to start on October 24th.
How long should those take?
Should have done by the end of
Get
the
in
year.
here and get things milled up.
Should have by the end of the
We
year.
get good weather. We paid this late in the year before, so it's not, we're still in good weather and no worries there.
Just out of curiosity, Jason, do you know if they're putting the divider back in the new CDA like they had before?
I don't know, Mike. I know that area was looked at. I think they were aware of how messed up that area was. But I really don't know. I haven't seen final plans. But I can probably find out for you.
I just know with it all being new, I hate to see semis cutting it short and tearing up like they did before.
Yeah. Like I said, it's been a struggle. It's been a real struggle, and I appreciate everyone's patience with the city during this whole process. I know it's been difficult for everyone. Hopefully, we'll see some relief downtown pretty soon.
We
Is
appreciate your efforts to see too.
Yeah,
Keep us on track.
very much so.
Is that a divider that's going in down there by Schultz's? Where they got looks like about a 4-foot cut. I don't know how deep, but
Talked to Steve Woods, he said he talked to him and it is.
It's a medium walkway.
It's, yeah. Well, yeah.
You can straw in the center.
We'll just ask Eric.
how's that gonna work?
Opportunity to hit somebody, yes, maybe.
I was thinking more of a ramp, launch off of drive. If it's anything like previous ones, like CVS. You know, they're terrible. So, yeah, that's been done.
I do feel like NDOT's responding to this better right now than it's been a struggle, but
Yeah, I think,
thank you, Jason.
give me, have any ideas on what we want to do moving forward, so I'm like, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything to say?
So second for
Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for coming this evening.
Council members,